Coming up on The Last Call, 3 straight losses have the Auburn Tigers reeling in the SEC. We'll show you what's going wrong for Bruce Pearl's team less than 1 year after winning a share of the conference title. Plus, a pair of new football coaches are coming to the Chattahoochee Valley. We'll introduce you to the 2 new men taking over at Spencer and Pacelli. That and much more is all on The Last Call, and it starts right now. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook. It's been a couple weeks. How you doing? I'm refreshed, so I say we get right to it and run it back. Back-to-back losses have put Auburn way back in the SEC. The Tigers have a losing conference record at 2-3 heading into their game against number 22 Mississippi State, who the Tigers were playing last night. Advantage Bulldogs already, with this one taking place in Starkville, where the Bulldogs are 9-1. Lamar Peters, corner 3. Yes, sir. 25-14 Bulldogs in the first. 3:35 left in the first half. Malik Dunbar on the steal. And, oh my goodness, Tigers only down by 3. Jared Harper, about a minute before the half, going to pull up from 3. Nails it. The Tigers trailed 47-45 at the half. High scoring this one. Then Harper again from downtown, bang. Biggest lead of the game for Auburn, up 7, but Mississippi State comes back. Reggie Perry throws it out, and bang, dunk, 60-58. Tie ball game once again at 70. Quindary Weatherspoon backboard, the 3 goes. Bulldogs take a commanding lead, and they seal the win on this dunk from Abdu Adu as Mississippi State bids adieu to Auburn, 92-84. Earlier this afternoon, the Alabama women's basketball team went on the road against the Georgia Bulldogs in Athens and rolled past them 58-53. The Tide were led by Sierra Johnson, who dropped a game-high 18 points while bringing in 8 boards. Bama is now 11-10 overall, while the Dogs moved to 12-8. But both teams have a losing record in the SEC. Big game coming up for Alabama as they host number 7 Mississippi State next Sunday. Back in 2004, the Auburn Tigers were unstoppable. They win a perfect 13-0 that season en route to beating Virginia Tech in the Sugar Bowl. Now a huge member of that perfect team is coming back to the Plains. Former running back Cadillac Williams will coach that position at Auburn, where he earned 2 All-SEC honors. He was also named an All-American after that undefeated season in 2004. When he was done playing on the Plains, Williams was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the 5th overall pick. Cadillac spent the last 2 seasons as the running backs coach at the IMG Academy in Florida. Last season was a weird one for Spencer football. The team hired Justin Newman just a few weeks before the season started, and it showed. They lost their first 5 games. They only won 3, but they still made the playoffs. But it wasn't enough for Newman to keep his job. He was fired a few months ago, and this week his replacement was announced. Current Spencer wrestling coach Robert Sanders was introduced as the newest Green Wave head coach on Wednesday. Sanders served plenty of roles at Spencer before this, including defensive, special teams, and offensive coordinator. While he was the OC, the Green Wave averaged just over 30 points a game. And actually, Robert's father, Pete, was the first ever head football coach at Carver.
But I don't take this job lightly because I do know the history. And so with that, I just want to be able to take my rightful place and make those guys proud and to make these young men to my left proud. And so, yeah, it's going to be, I know my heart will probably beat out my chest, when that time comes. But like I said, with the support group I have in these young men, I think we'll be okay. This will probably be my final call as far as, my coaching career. And I just want to do a great job.
Familiar face, he's around the school. He's been here since I was a freshman, and he's always had open arms to everybody. So we're just excited to play for him.
You can catch a full one-on-one interview with Coach Sanders on our website, WRBL.com. The coaching carousel kept rolling in the Valley because the very next day, the Pacelli Vikings introduced Dwight Jones as their new head man. Jones comes from Alabama's 6A ranks at Russell County, where he spent 2 seasons as their head coach. He also brings almost 30 years of coaching experience to Pacelli, which includes stops at Hardaway, Northside, Harris County, and Auburn. It's a big change from 6A to 1A ball in Georgia, but Jones says it's that adjustment that has him excited for this new chapter.
I think it's a 1A high school team. You play in public school football in a 1 high school classification, and I think that's kind of unique. I haven't done that before, and you have to be able to get kids to play both ways. Some of these kids who have not played football before here at Pacelli need to come out and play. and I think they'll do that. I think we all understand we have to share athletes here because it is a smaller student body, but I think they're excited about it, and hopefully it'll carry over to the football field when we begin.
Jones will have some work to do, though. The Tigers won a total of 3 games in the past 2 seasons. You can catch that full interview with Coach Jones on our website as well. All right, we're still serving on the last call, and brace yourselves. Baseball is coming. Shout out Game of Thrones. Opening day is less than 3 weeks away for the Tigers and less than a week away for CSU. We got a recap of both as we preview their season. Plus, we go behind the scenes to talk with the man who takes care of Columbus State's award-winning Ragsdale Field, named the best collegiate field in all of Georgia. That's coming up. You can see my breath outside, but if you can believe it, we're less than 3 weeks away from Auburn baseball being back. The number 20 Tigers are once again inside the top 25 after a historic season last year. Auburn went 15-0 to start the season, their second best start in program history. They made history once again by winning a region tournament for the first time since 1999, and they almost made history again against the number 1 overall ranked Florida Gators, but they lost Game 3 on a walk-off home run in extra innings. But winning the SEC will be tough because 7 teams are ranked inside the top 25, including the top 3 spots.
It's amazing how this league keeps one up in itself every year. We want that for our program. We want to sharpen ourselves and see what we can test and stretch our program instead of trying to do the same thing over and over. So this is an exciting test, but I don't think we should take a back seat to anybody. I think people have got to look at us as a team that they have to play as well.
We don't need to forget it because I still think about Florida every day, and just build off the success we had and continue to have that feeling we had when we lost. And we're hungry. I would say we're more hungry than last year, so we're out to get people this year.
Burns will be one of the pitchers trying to fill the void left by Casey Mize, who was taken number 1 overall by the Detroit Tigers last season. And it's even harder to believe that we're less than a week away from opening day for Columbus State baseball. The Cougars start their season at home on Friday, followed by a home doubleheader the next day. CSU is coming off one of its best seasons ever, going 48-15 overall, winning the Southeast Regional, and going all the way to the D2 World Series. The Cougars are gearing up for another year under head coach Greg Appleton, who's entering his 22nd year at CSU.
It sets a standard for the team. I think at Columbus State, all the teams are measured if they go to the World Series or not. And we've had some really good teams that haven't gone to the World Series, and they're still good teams, but they don't measure up to the ones that have. So I think that's a goal for every guy, is to get to the World Series and be able to play in that championship environment.
First pitch next week is 4 o'clock at home against West Alabama, followed by a doubleheader on Saturday. And speaking of Columbus State baseball, they've been playing ball since 1970, and it all started under Charles Ragsdale, who coached for 15 years. The field was later named after him and became known as Ragsdale Field at Burger King Stadium 3 years ago. The Cougars have accomplished plenty in their nearly 50-year history, but just achieved a very special award for the first time.
Some people know the third baseman. Most people know the shortstop. Everyone knows the second baseman. Show off. But nobody knows Sammy Stiers, the guy who takes care of this award-winning field at CSU.
A lot goes on behind the scenes before you even step out onto the baseball field. I really wasn't even aware of the award until we got it.
Well, the first thing I thought was about time, because we've had the best field in Georgia for a long time.
Last week, the Georgia Baseball Coaches Association agreed, recognizing Columbus State's Ragsdale Field as the best collegiate field in all of Georgia. But a field can only win an award if someone's there to take care of it.
We might have to throw a bag of turfus on it. Let it dry up as much as we can. I've kind of just learned from experience, from what other people done. I've basically screwed everything up out here at least once and just try to not make the same mistake twice.
He must not have made too many mistakes because he's been with Columbus State for 15 years.
Just a crack of the bat today, boys. Pop it a mitt.
He's one of the reasons our baseball program is successful.
Success comes and goes like seasons change, and the seasons changing makes Stiers' job more challenging.
You go from 80 degrees to 30 degrees, and it kind of puts the grass in shot, and anytime the field floods, so you kind of at the will of Mother Nature as far as that goes.
We're lucky enough to be out here every day. One of the most beautiful things. It was definitely a selling point for me to come here. Stiers does an incredible job with it, and we couldn't be more thankful to have him on our staff.
I get to come out and work on a baseball field every day, so that beats the heck out of sitting in a desk. So I could see myself doing this job until they don't let me do it anymore, or till I'm physically not able to come out here and do it.
Reporting on your side, Justin Holbrook, News 3 Sports.
Back in the studio, only one of me this time. All right, over to CSU basketball. The women were hosting Young Harris yesterday. In the fourth, Mountain Lions cut the lead. Pamela Diapakra cleans up the board and gets the bucket, but CSU would answer. Leasia Williamson finds Anna Stewart, who drives baseline, and a nice pass to Kari Jernigan for the layup that put that one out of reach. Lady Cougars pulled away for the 61-49 win. And right after that, the CSU men trying to break a 3-game losing streak, also playing Young Harris. Early in the first half, Cougars moving the ball well. They find Tay Taylor down low, gets the layup to go, and the foul. CSU up by 7. Later, Cougs trying to beat the press. Jalen Thomas finds Taylor in the paint and slams it with authority. CSU up by 12 midway through the first half. Cougars up by 8 with 7 minutes left in the half. Landrius Horton gets it to Bryant Givens, who puts the defender in the spin cycle, and nifty layup to finish it. Cougars go up by 10. A few seconds left in the first half. Mountain Lions trying to cut the lead. Justin Jones for the layup, but he's denied by Xavier Williams at the buzzer. CSU led by 10 at half, and they won by 9, 105-96. Still to come on The Last Call, we've got you covered for high school basketball. We're less than 2 weeks left in the regular season, and we catch up with the Lafayette Bulldogs, the latest winners of our Athletes of the Week award. Hey, welcome back. Every team starts the season with state championship dreams, but the way the Lafayette Bulldogs are playing, that goal could be within reach. And a huge win over Lynette last week, their second time beating the Panthers, has earned the Bulldogs our Athletes of the Week award.
The Lafayette High Bulldogs have been in some battles this season, like the one last Friday night against arch rival Lynette. The Bulldogs hung on in that game for a 1-point win. Lafayette head coach Obadiah Threadgill hopes his team's tenacity continues down the stretch.
We're 21-3, playing pretty good basketball, but there's no such thing as complacency in here. These guys got to continue to work hard, continue to grind every day, continue to push themselves to get better. They got to continue to be accountable and hold each other accountable.
Meanwhile, the players say they've worked hard to attain this season's success.
We've been playing together so long. We've been playing together since rec ball, and it just keep going for there. So we get better as a unit, like communicate-wise. And I think they're gonna push us a long way this year and next year. We all been together for a long time, so if we don't make it, then it's just failure. And we don't want to be labeled as failures right here.
He wants us to be positive players on the court and off the court.
Now, this team's 21-3 record is impressive, but they still have some lofty goals. They want to finish the season strong, and they want to win a state championship.
This year we have the talent to do so. We have the experience. We got the desire and the want to, and I think we have the know-how. So now we just got to get out there one game at a time, continue to do those things that got us to this point.
And as the Bulldogs prepare for their next opponent, we say good luck and congratulations to the Lafayette High Bulldogs basketball team, our Cody Road Trophies and Jewelers Prep Zone Athletes of the Week. On the road in Lafayette, Alabama, I'm Carlos Williams for News 3 Sports. On your side.
More basketball. Region 5 2A's top two teams faced off as Callaway played Spencer. First possession of the game, Jawan Brown sends this one packing. Sparks a Green Wave fast break. And Shamari is a boogie, puts it in, and Green Wave are up by 2. Jalen Sellers off the turnover, puts this one home. Green Wave led 63-27 at the half. Yikes. Second half turned into the Malachi Moore show. On the break, he slams it home with one hand. Spencer up by 34. And then Quay Hoskins pushes it down the floor, finds Morris, he drives lane and scores again. The Green Wave never trailed in this game and remained perfect in region play. They dominated, scoring 110, to 75. Over in Phoenix City, the Springwood Wildcats traveled to the Swamp in Glenwood. First quarter, Gators up by 4. Coleman Hull stays the rock, passes it, but it's intercepted by Brooks Barton, and he gets the bucket. Gators lead 12-6. Second quarter now, Gators rolling. Barton says, "Give me that," steals his lunch money, leads to an easy layup. Glenwood goes up 25-11. A few ticks later on the clock, Anthony King on the wing, drives and glides around the Wildcats. That puts Glenwood in a commanding 27-11 lead. and Glenwood defends home court in a big way, winning 72-30, and they hosted Lee Scott, on Friday. Central taking on Auburn for a second time this year. Red Devils trounced the Tigers 59-27 2 weeks ago. Marquez Henry, ball fake, passes it to Tremere Brown. Absorbs some contact, no foul called, but the bucket is good. On the other end, Justin Brooks flying in for the board. He takes contact, no foul called for him, letting him play. His layup goes. Auburn in the game. Other end, Tremaine Porter open on the wing. Yes, sir. Red Devils led 17-6 after one quarter. Second quarter, Brooks nails a three, pulls Auburn within 6, but Porter and the Devils were too much for Auburn. They led at the half and kept it all the way, winning 57-47. Back in town, Class 4A action between Hardaway and America's Sumter. First quarter, Panthers' trap defense caused havoc all night long. Josh Moore eventually gets the rock. Easy bucket puts Americus up 10-2 early. Second quarter, now Panthers up by 15. Josh Luzane picks off the pass. Up ahead to Trey Brown, another easy layup. Gives the Panthers a 17-point lead. Brown finished the game high, 19. Later in the frame, the Panthers defense showing no mercy after the rip. They find Luzane down low. He flushes it with two hands. Panthers dominate the game, winning 82-52. Wow. Rivalry in North Columbus on Friday as Shaw hosted Northside. Let's go to the second quarter. Shaw up by 6. Northside on the break. Dylan Hanbride with the nifty moves and finds Fred Davis in the paint for the layup. 26-22 Shaw. Third quarter now. Patriots up by 2. Shaw's Rod Winfrey wasn't having it. Picks off the pocket of Quez Anderson, and he gets the layup there. We're all tied at 41. Fourth quarter now. Shaw up by 7. Davis turns on the Jets just like in football. Goes coast to coast for the layup. Cuts the lead to 5. Under 2 minutes to go, the Pats are up by 1. Shaw's Darnell Moran drives baseline, gets the floater to go. The Raiders take the 60-59 lead, and they went on an 11-0 run to close it out and win 69-59. And finally, 15-7 Harris County hosting 10-10 Manchester last night. Got there just in time in the fourth quarter. Tigers up by 7. Kendrell Bray gets the screen, attacks the basket, and layup goes in. They're up by 9 at Harris County. Then Talik Williams gets a steal, takes it the other way, dishes to Calvin Harris, not the singer. Tigers outscored the Blue Devils 11-2 in the first 5 minutes. One more for the road. Williams draws contact and one. Harris County wins big, 65-50. All right. The Super Bowl is a week away, and to get you ready, we sit down with a former Super Bowl champ and a Eufaula native who talks about what it's like to play in and win the big game. At this time next week, we'll know the winner of Super Bowl 53. Will it be the LA Rams in a changing of the guard, or will the dynasty continue for the New England Patriots? These two teams met before in Super Bowl 36 when the Rams were still in St. Louis, which was Tom Brady's first ever Super Bowl win. Now he's going for Super Bowl win number 6. Incredible. Of course, the game is being played in Atlanta, and Georgia fans will be proud to see former dog Todd Gurley on the NFL's biggest stage. During his time between the hedges, he had 42 total touchdowns and more than 3,900 yards rushing. This season, he was the NFL's 3rd leading rusher. This is also a little bit of a homecoming for the Rams' young head coach Sean McVay, who's a native of Marietta, Georgia.
Growing up in Atlanta, it's awesome. I think my parents are probably a little bit more excited about it than I am, but this is about our football team. Excited about it. It's kind of ironic that the only Super Bowl I've been to as a fan was the last time when the Rams played the Titans. I was at that game. My grandpa, when he was still involved in the NFL, he got me tickets for my birthday. So now we'll get a chance to go back.
Speaking of his birthday, McVay turned 33 years old on Thursday, and yes, he's the youngest head coach to ever be in a Super Bowl. We've got some more LA players with local collegiate ties. Defensive back Blake Countless played at Auburn. Linebacker Mark Barron is a former Crimson Tide player, and Ramik Wilson also played at Georgia like Gurley. And of course, the architect behind the whole team is Rams general manager Les Snead, who's from Eufaula. On the other sideline, here are the local ties for the Patriots. Defensive back Jonathan Jones and linebacker Brandon King played at Auburn. Defensive back Dante Hightower played at Alabama. And there's another Georgia running back in rookie Sony Michel, who set the rookie record with 5 postseason touchdowns. He's joined by fellow dogs David Andrews and Isaiah Wynn, who's been on the IR since preseason. And sticking with local players in the Super Bowl, one guy knows what it's like to win the whole thing. Eufaula native and current Tigers assistant coach Gerald Jernigan was with the New York Giants during his rookie year in 2011 when they beat the Patriots 21-17 in Super Bowl 46. Jernigan actually caught the opening kickoff in that game, and here's what Tom Coughlin told him.
And then for me catching the opening kickoff and hearing Coach Tom Coughlin say, whatever you do, don't drop the ball, I mean, so that's a little more in your head, like I can't drop this ball. I said, but it was all good at the end. You know, I took it in, you know, and I was just glad to be there. And then when I hit it one, and then I was excited about it also.
That's my bad. His name is pronounced Jarrell, and if you couldn't tell by his gear, he's pulling for the Rams and the other Eufaula guy, Les Snead. We also have a full one-on-one interview with him on WRBL.com. Last, on the last call, Jason Witten is trying to handle football-shaped things, and it doesn't go well. More on the other side.
Congratulations on winning the 2019 Pro Bowl. Let me present you guys with this trophy here. There you go. Get it down below. Here we go, here we go. You got it? There you go. You guys got it? There we go. Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Congratulations, guys.
At one point this year, Jason Witten said somebody pulled a rabbit out of their head. We didn't know that was actually possible until he did it tonight with this move. Classic Jason Witten. All right, that'll do it for the last call. Time to lock up. We'll be on a little later with the Super Bowl on WRBL next week, but we'll have plenty of exclusive Super Bowl content on next week's show. So grab a Red Bull or 3 and be ready. All right, take it easy.